Hi, I'm Mrs. Farnworth, and I'm here with you today to work on a 5-finger source evaluation. So I have found some websites for a cryptid that I am actually looking up called the Mysterious Mud Mermaid of Indiana. You guys have your own cryptid that you're going to be dealing with. This is the one that I'm going to be doing here. So first of all, I want to show you, you actually have this attachment that says Information Evaluation Rubric. We are going to be looking at the currency of what we are evaluating, the reliability, the authority, and purpose. Please make sure you look at that excellent category. That's those 5-point category, because in order to really be a top of the line source, it needs to hit that 5 points on each of those criteria. All right, let's go ahead and continue. So my first website that I'm going to deal with will be this a site I found after searching mud mermaids, called Mermaids, Giant Turtles, and Wild Men. Oh my. Then I have the web address listed there as well. This website, it is blog, and it even says blog as the first word here. I don't want you to be turned off just because you see that blog, even though blogs can be written by anyone. If we can find a proper source for a blog that has credibility, then it's totally okay. In this case, this blog comes directly from the Indiana Historical Bureau of the Indiana State Library. So that already tells me this is a pretty good indication that we have a good source here. Okay, I can go even further, and here I have a date. I have the author's name, Lindsay Beckley. I can click on this name so I can dig up a little more, but we'll get to that in a moment. Okay, so we want to look at our 5-finger source evaluation. Okay, and so we've got things that we need to make sure we include: the article or website title and URL. So I've already got that included. I want to then find the date. And I just said, yes, I found a date. So I'm going to go ahead and circle yes here because I did in fact find a date. And the next thing that you would want to do is you would want to make sure that the date is fairly recent for what you're actually looking for. So 2017, I mean, it's not in the past 2 years, but I think for the kind of thing that we're looking for mythology and for details about a mythological legend or creature. I think this is pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and say, yeah, we have a good date here. The next thing we need to find out is it well written? So I want to read a little bit. And honestly, before you do this yourself, you should read the entire page of the website that you're looking at. Not just a sentence or a paragraph or the part that you want to cite, but the entire thing. So you can really determine if it's written on your level, if you can understand it, and also if it's well written. So let me back here. All right. So I'm going to read a little bit, and this has a little editor's note about cryptid itself. Let's see if we can find, here we go. I'm just going to get in the thick of it here. 21 years later, in 1860, the young men of Carroll County had turned out to help capture another wild child. This article from the Weekly Republican in Plymouth, Indiana, reports that a search party of 300 has formed to help look for a male child between the ages of 7 and 10 who has been sighted several times. Now, this is not actually about mud mermaids yet. So here we've got this giant sloth that we're referencing. There's a lot of stories. Here's our actual mud mermaid. So let's see. While newspapers report the sightings of the duo had started 4 years earlier, no newspaper reports can be found recounting earlier sightings, and the mermaid craze ends as quickly as it began, with the first reported in September and the last just under 2 months later in November. So it sounds like we have a lot of factual information. It sounds like it's very well written. And so I'm going to circle this. Yes, it's well written. Okay. And I wouldn't want you to circle that unless you have truly read it. If you've just read a paragraph, that's really not enough. But you know that I've already read this. I'm not going to read it all to you. Next, we want to say, yes, we have an author because I found that author's name. But to establish this author's authority or this author's credibility, you need to dig into a little further into who that author is and even a little more into that web page and how well you can trust it. So if I go back to this author, Lindsay Beckley, get rid of my pencil here, and I click on, because this is actually a hyperlink, which is kind of cool. What this is going to do is this is going to tell me all of the different articles that Lindsay Beckley has written, which is kind of interesting. But I want more than that. I mean, I can look up Lindsay Beckley on my own, but I want a little more on the website itself. Now, first of all, this again is the Indiana Historical Bureau. So in my mind, I already have this notion that they're probably going to have accurate information here. But I'm going to read a little on there about their guest blogger guidelines, because it does say guest bloggers. That makes me think, okay, other people can blog on their website. Let's take a look. Guest blogger guidelines. Content must be based upon original research or synthesis of well-researched secondary works, should relate to Indiana history, and describe the topic's local, state, national, or international significance. Previously published content can be submitted if permission is obtained. So it sounds like you have to get some permission. They've even got, you have to have some citations there of further reading. This sounds like a pretty legit site and a pretty good source. So, and here we have even more information about what the Historical Bureau's blog does. It says it informs readers about diverse history of topics and the unique sources we use to research and write them down. Okay, and then it has more information about the types of sources they use. So I really like this website. I think it sounds like it's pretty fact-based. I didn't see anything in there that led me to believe, they're trying to sell me something. There's opinions in there. This sounds like they are only including things that are pretty well researched, and that would be credible. So I'm going to go ahead and give this website, and I'm going to type this out. I want you to write this down on your own. I would give this website a thumbs up. You would say thumbs up or thumbs down. And then you need to say why, because now the reasoning behind this should not just be, I think it sounds credible, or they gave me information I wanted to hear. That's not enough to show authority, credibility, any of those things. I want you to actually reference the different criteria that we talked about. So it could be it's up to date. The article is well written. You could say that the author is credible and has authority on the subject. You could also say that it is fact-based and does not have bias. They're not trying to sell me something. Those could be reasons to give it a thumbs up. If I'm giving it a thumbs down, I would again want to state, why is it not credible, right? What is keeping it from being a good, reliable resource? So I would give this website a thumbs up because it is well written. Oops. Let's see. The author is credible, and it is a fact-based. Okay, so I'm going to move on and show you another website. Now we're going to go ahead and move on to another source. And here's my other source that I found as I typed in Mud Mermaids. I found Cryptid Wiki. So as I was looking at Cryptid Wiki, I'm going to assess it for the same things. I'm going to write the website title there, write the web address, and then I'm going to look for my important information. First, I'm going to look for my date. I'm going to tell you, because I've already looked through this, there is no date here. So there's nothing even that says it was updated, which worries me a little bit. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to circle no. Oops. I'm going to try to circle no. There we go. No, it does not have a date. Is it well written? Mud mermaids are mermaid-like creatures commonly believed to have lived in the muddy banks of the Ohio River during the early 19th and 20th centuries. They were recounted in the 1839 Pennsylvania newspaper as being about 4 feet high and covered with a light coat of chestnut-colored hair. And as I continue reading, yeah, I mean, it is pretty well written. It's not bad writing. Oh, here I'm going to say that it is not. So it is pretty well written. Okay. Do I have an author? That's my next question. And I'm going to look through here on my source. And here's the thing. I don't see one particular author. I can go ahead and click about, and it's going to lead me to what is this? Well, Fandom Powers fan experience. It's a fan site. So this is for fans of cryptids. Is that really great? I don't know that it's bad, but if we're just looking for straight up, where is the author? Who is the author? I don't know. So that's why I'm going to say no, I don't know who the author is. There isn't one. Okay. The next thing I'm going to look for, is it fact or biased? And we did notice as we were looking at it that yes, it is fact-based. Here's why I'm going to give it a thumbs down. The reason I'm going to give this a thumbs down, so I'm going to say I give this source a thumbs down because it has no clear author listed and there is no date. So this is enough to push me away from this source and help me to kind of gravitate towards something else. Now, I know that your teachers are asking you to look for multiple sources. When you look for multiple sources, they should both get a thumbs up. So please make sure as you're evaluating your websites, your goal is to find multiple sources that get that thumbs up. Okay, your turn.